I waited 3 years for him to propose. 3 years of holidays, birthdays, and family gatherings where everyone kept asking, "So when's the wedding?" And finally, on a rainy night in November, he got down on one knee in our kitchen. No crowd, no ring box. Just him, holding a small velvet pouch and whispering, "I can't imagine my life without you." I cried. I said yes. I believed it. What I didn't know was that the ring wasn't new. And it wasn't meant for me. But that truth would only reveal itself much, much later. 2 weeks after the proposal, we were watching old movies in bed. He dozed off halfway through. Then, out of nowhere, he mumbled in his sleep, "Kara." My body went cold. I didn't know anyone named Kara. I shook him gently. "Who's Kara?" He blinked, confused. "What? You said her name." "Oh," he smiled. "Just a random dream. Probably someone from work." He brushed it off, kissed my forehead, and went back to sleep. But I couldn't. I lay awake, repeating that name over and over in my head. 2 weeks after the proposal, we were watching old movies in bed. He dozed off halfway through. Then, out of nowhere, he mumbled in his sleep, "Kara." My body went cold. I didn't know anyone named Kara. I shook him gently. "Who's Kara?" He blinked, confused. "What? You said her name." "Oh," he smiled. "Just a random dream. Probably someone from work." He brushed it off, kissed my forehead, and went back to sleep. But I couldn't. I lay awake, repeating that name over and over in my head. He forgot to log out of his Google account on my iPad. I wasn't snooping. I was trying to play music. But then I saw a folder, archived photos. One image stood out, him on a beach, holding hands with a woman I didn't recognize. She was wearing a white dress. He was in a suit. The photo was dated 2 months before we met. The file name? Engagement_Kara.jpg. I felt like the floor cracked under me. Was I the second choice? Or just the backup plan? I waited until dinner. My voice shook as I asked, "Who is Kara?" He looked up slowly, his face falling like a mask coming off. "She was someone I loved, before you. We were engaged." I swallowed hard. "And the ring?" He didn't answer. I deserve the truth. He sighed. "It was hers. She gave it back. I couldn't afford a new one." It felt like being punched without being touched. I wasn't angry about the ring. I was angry he lied. And worse, he didn't seem to understand why that mattered. He left his phone in the kitchen one morning while showering. A voicemail came through. I wasn't going to touch it, until I saw the name. "Kara." I pressed play. Her voice was calm, almost sad. "I heard you're engaged. Congratulations. I guess you moved on faster than I did." My hands trembled. So she hadn't known. She didn't know he reused the ring. She didn't know about me. Or maybe I didn't know about him. I didn't plan to. But my fingers moved before I could stop them. She picked up on the third ring. "Kara?" I asked. A pause. Then, "Who is this?" I told her everything. Her silence said more than words. When she finally spoke, she said something that broke me. "He gave me that same speech. Same proposal line. Word for word." I felt sick. Not because he recycled the ring, but because he recycled his love. Nothing was real. Not even the words. I tried to go through with it. Cake tastings. Dress shopping. But every detail felt fake now. Like I was acting in someone else's movie. The worst part? He kept pretending nothing had changed. He laughed, kissed me, and talked about our honeymoon. But every time he said forever, I wondered how many times he had said it before. And who he really meant it for. Jenna, yes, the same best friend from the last story, didn't hold back. You're not marrying him, you're marrying his past. I told her I still loved him. She said, love doesn't mean staying with someone who made you feel like a replacement. Her words echoed louder than church bells. That night, I stared at my ring. Not because it was hers. Because it was never mine. It happened quietly. No dramatic fight. No yelling. Just one morning, I looked in the mirror, slid the ring off, and placed it in a drawer. I didn't tell him right away. I needed to feel it, what it was like to live a day without the weight of something borrowed. For the first time in months, I felt light. Not happy. Not free. But lighter. That night, he came home with flowers. He sensed something. I've been distant, I know, he said. But I love you. I didn't respond. I messed up, he continued. I wasn't ready to let go of the past. Then he added, but I never loved her the way I love you. Funny. That's exactly what he said, about me, to her. Same words. Same voice. Different lie. I wrote her a letter. Kara. Not to blame her. Not to warn her. Just to tell her I understand. We both fell for the same person. We both believed the same version of him. We both wore the same ring. And we both thought we were the only one. I never mailed it. But writing it helped me realize something. I wasn't angry at her anymore. I was angry at myself, for accepting less than I deserved. We sent out invitations. People RSVP'd. But every time I looked at the guest list, I felt nothing. I used to picture our wedding vividly. Now it just looked like a lie I had to perform in front of 150 people. He was excited. I wasn't. The closer it got, the more I realized, I wasn't scared to get married. I was scared to marry him. The dress fit perfectly. Too perfectly. I looked in the mirror and barely recognized the woman staring back. She looked beautiful. But she didn't look happy. She looked like she was playing a part in someone else's story. And I wasn't sure I wanted to keep acting. It was 2 weeks before the wedding. Everything was ready. But one morning, I looked at myself and realized, I still had a choice. I could still walk away. I could still choose me. And maybe, that would be the real beginning of this story. Not a love story. But a freedom story. To be continued.